Hi, I want to take a few minutes to talk about relationships and why they fail. We're sitting in a world right now where divorce rate is 50% or more. That's people that have gone to the altar and said, "Till death do us part." Um, death do us part don't last very long. And not just that, some of the things that happen in relationships, and especially with some of the things that have been coming up in the pandemic right now, are disgusting. And a lot of it is because we don't understand the nature of relationships and what they do. To me, relationships are amazing. They can be. And they're this amazing experience of falling in love with someone and being close to someone and allowing someone to be really intimate or close to you. And it's sad when it doesn't last. I read a really good book a bunch of years ago. It's called The Couple's Journey, and everybody should read it. It was really well done, and it talks about the stages that a relationship goes through. And most people aren't aware that a relationship's going to go through stages. And so, when things aren't always the romantic love, which is the first part, which is what attracts you to somebody, and then it changes. Then there must be something really wrong. It's not like this. You're turning out to be a jerk. But that's not what it's about. You see, we're emotional beings, and our emotions will override logic any day of the week. All you got to look online and see somebody do something really stupid, shoot somebody or stuff like that, or what's going on especially in the U.S. right now with the pandemic. You're seeing lots of people do really bizarre crap. Some of the stuff that's happened in Portland and just some of the people taking people's lives and justifying the non-maskers. Like, there's obviously some emotional issues with them because all the society's asking of them is, please take care of your neighbor. And they've gotten some charge about the mask that my rights are being taken. No, they're not. Society's come to you and said, we need everybody so we don't kill anybody. We need everybody to come together. So, anyway, so we're all wounded, and you'll see the wounds like I was just describing in people. To me, this whole thing in the pandemic is a great example of seeing the emotional stability of humanity, because you're seeing some of the stuff people are doing, especially in the States. And it's all about the emotional wellness of a country, about the people, because these people are an indication of the emotional wellness. So, with relationships, as I said, we're all wounded to a degree. And the less you're wounded, the more likely you're going to attract somebody that's not too wounded. Because what we do is our subconscious mind sort of sees people, and it um, unconsciously recognizes that, hey, here's somebody that if I'm close with, they can help me to heal. So we're attracted to somebody that has some kind of a complementary um, issue going on, which resonates with our own wounds, and we resonate with their wounds. And if you have a conscious relationship, this is a phenomenal thing. The problem is most people don't have a conscious relationship. They have a relationship based on fantasies and what they see on TV and all this stuff, and they don't have a relationship based on knowledge. So if you're thinking of getting married, make sure that you learn as much as you can about the nature of relationships, because what you're really going to learn about in a relationship is yourself, because the relationship is going to bring you up against yourself, and it's going to do it very quickly once you get past the romantic stage. Once you enter what's called the power struggle, you're going to be confronted with your true nature, and so is the other person. The problem is, and this is why I think why the divorce rate is so bad, when we're ignorant of the underlying issues that are going on in a relationship, that they're going to bring you up to your own childhood wounding, then it's really easy, especially in our modern society, just to blame. And so what we do is we blame the other person for us being upset. And so they're obviously a jerk. like obviously. And some people take it to the point of physically injuring another person, because the reality is they just don't want to face their own inner demons. And so they create this story: I'm upset, it's your fault, you bitch, and all this other stuff. Excuse me for swearing. But that's why the divorce rate's so bad, and why relationships can be the best and the worst, bring out the best and the worst of us, and why a lot of relationships don't last very long, because people don't want to face their own demons. So if you're upset and you're in a relationship with someone and you're upset, it has nothing to do with them. They're just living their stuff. When you get charged, it's about you. It's about, there's something inside of you that has been charged. Think about it. If I spoke to you in a language you didn't understand and blah, 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 it wouldn't make any difference to you because you wouldn't understand it. But if I speak to you in a language that you know, then you are going to respond. And all the person is doing is somehow communicating to your emotional language, and they're triggering that. And so the problem with our ignorance in our society is that when most people are triggered, it's, I'm upset, it's about you, you're a jerk. And all they're doing is, if you can get to a point in your relationship going, I'm upset. I'm upset. There's something that just got triggered. I wonder what it is. And thank you so much for triggering this in me so that I can grow and I can become a better person. And instead of, thank you, you jerk, you just did this, this, and this, and I'm going to make you pay for it, and I'm going to put stuff in your, all this other things that people do, and to many, many bad extremes. Like, you think of the people that do awful things to other people in some of these massive killings and shootings, and the guy in Vegas, what emotionally twisted stuff was inside of him. So it's really important you start to understand yourself. And one of it's emotional thoughts, our emotional body. And that's easier in many aspects, because what will happen in your emotional side is you'll get charged, and that'll bring you back to something that happened to you likely between ages 1 and 5, or 0 and 5, or conception and 5. And start challenging yourself. I'm upset. Why am I upset? It's never about anybody else. And try to look at it as a gift. Hey, I'm upset. Yeah, great, I'm upset. Because it's going to help me to find freedom. Because if you go through this stuff, then you don't get upset about stuff. Like, why would you get upset about something if there's no charge to it? So try to look at, if you want to have a great relationship, you got to understand, one, there's a series of stages. You're going to start in romance. You're going to go into the power struggle, where most relationships and divorce happens is people don't get past the power struggle. They go, what happened to this romantic, beautiful person that I married or that I fell in love with? Where did they go? Like, they've obviously gone somewhere, but they actually haven't. Both of your childhood stuff is coming to the surface so that you can heal it. And the only way you're going to heal it, if you stop being a victim, you stop blaming, and you start taking 100% responsibility for what you feel. And then you help each other. You go, honey, I can see you're upset. Can we talk about this? What's this about? Like, when's the first time you felt this? And it's usually, kids especially make up decisions about the world and what the world means from a child's perspective. This is especially true in young children. They think that X means this, and so they make a decision, and some of those decisions run their whole lives. It's especially true that people that have, if you look at my video on defensiveness, here's kids who were born into a world, parents were not present, there was no caretaker, and so these poor kids made a decision the world wasn't safe, and it changed their whole brain development just because of their interpretation that it was not a safe world. And the reality is, it may not have been a safe world. And so the other thing that happens in multi-generation, which also will affect your relationship, is the beliefs that you have. You have to understand that the vast majority of the beliefs we have, almost everything we believe to be true, they're not our beliefs. They are now, we've adopted them, but they came from somebody else. And you're assuming that the person who taught you your beliefs was intelligent or smart, or some of them came from churches or schools or other people. I was going to say Donald Trump, but you know, and those beliefs, most people never challenge their beliefs. Like, why do you believe what you believe to be true? Like, start asking yourself, why do I believe that to be true? And because that'll make a big difference in your relationship. Because relationships are supposed to be like this, this, and this. And reality is they're not. They're supposed to be what you make of them. And to me, I really believe relationships are the biggest gift that happens with humanity. And they're about healing. And the more wounded you are as a kid, the harder you're going to have with your relationships if you don't wake up. So I hope this helps, and I hope it gives you some insights. And I hope you love yourself and love other people, and just realize that if other people are having problems, it's because of their childhood wounds. It's because of that pain that somewhere is being held within them that they haven't released. And just love them, especially. Try to love everybody as much as you can, because they're all wounded. And I'm glad I'm saying this, because there's some people I need to do the same for. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day. Come back soon. Please leave a comment. Subscribe if you found it interesting. Leave a comment and tell me your thoughts, because I really am open to, I'd really like to hear. Take care. Have a spectacular day.